Hello everyone and welcome back. So today I'm going to showing you how to create toggle dark mode in Next application. And as you can see here, we have this navbar. So we have two road, home and about. And also here we have this tags, we have this button, it's not working. And also this footer, okay? As you can see here, this text is black and also the background is white. But if I change the system to dark mode, as you can see, if I click, it's gonna be changed. The color is gonna be changed. As you can see, the icon is changed and the color of this text is gonna be changed, the footer as well. All right, so if I go to about, it's gonna be changed as well. What happened is if user go to this website for the first time, it's gonna be following the display value here, okay? But after user click this button here, this icon here, let me showing you the application and local storage. After user click this icon here, it's gonna be storing and the value is gonna be light in the local storage. And now this website here is gonna be following this value, okay? It's not following this system here, but this value, all right? So now if I change, it's gonna be changed. If I refresh, it's still following the key of this theme here. All right, it's pretty nice. So that's what we are going to be building. And for this project, we are going to use Next.js and also Tailwind CSS for the styling and also hero icons for the icon. We grab the icon from here. And also we are going to use Next theme. Next theme is a package that we can use in Next.js to work with dark mode. As you can see in here, there's a lot of benefit. This is a perfect dark mode in 2 lines of code. As you can see here, no flash on load and also disable flashing when changing theme. There's a lot of benefit here. We also use theme hooks in here. So yeah, that's what we are going to be building, and let's get started. Alright, so in here I have already generated Next application with this command here. Let's go to the documentation and this one here. I'll do yarn create Next application and the name of the application. In this case, I give a name Next Tailwind theme. All right. In the terminal here, I'm already running the app with yarn dev. It's going to be start the next dev and open the application in localhost 3000. And this is what we have. So the next thing is let's install Tailwind in the Next application. So let's go to the documentation here. Let's go to framework guides and click the Next.js and just copy this command here. And let's open, I think let's just close this and let's paste that in here and hit enter. All right, so now it's done. Let's go back to the documentation and we need to copy this Tailwind config. Let's go back to VS Code and let's paste that in here, okay, in this Tailwind config. So now save, and we need to copy this global CSS here and paste that in to the global CSS. So let's minimize this and let's paste that in here and let's run the app. Let's say yarn dev. Okay, so now let's open this localhost 3000 and this is what we have. As you can see, the font is changed, right? Let's go back to the pages here. I'm going to remove this API. We don't need this. Let's delete that and go to index.js, and in here I'm going to remove everything here. Okay, let's remove that, make it simple like so, and I'm going to say app. So in here I'm going to remove the class name. Let's remove that, and let's remove all the import up here, and we need to also remove the home here. Let's remove that. So now let's go back to the browser, and as you can see, we just have app with no styling here. So next I'm going to create another folder here called sections. Okay, in this section here I have file called header.js file and also hero.js, and also I'm going to say footer. Okay, because in the final project, as you can see here, we have 3 sections in here. The first thing is header and the hero and the footer. All right, so now let's go back to hero. Let's say rafce and hit enter and close that for now. Let's go back to hero and let's say rafce and remove the React, and also in the footer rfce, and remove the React. All right. So now I'm going to create another folder again. Let's call this components. All right. So inside the component here, I'm going to create let's say file called layout.js file. Okay. So in here again, we say rfce, and let's remove the import React. So the first time is I'm going to remove this div here and returning React fragment, and in here I'm going to render head come from next head. And as you can see in the browser here, you don't have any title, right? Just localhost 3000. We can change this title here with head. Okay, so inside in here we can say title. Okay, I'm going to say next Tailwind theme. Okay, if I save that, and as you can see, let's refresh. It's not updated because we don't yet import this layout in this underscore app. So now this layout here have props called children, and down here I'm gonna say div. Okay, and inside this div I have main, and also I'm gonna render the children inside in here. Okay, so now we need to wrap our underscore app here with this layout. Okay, so now let's go back here and let's cut and put the layout in here. So let's say layout like so, and paste the component inside the layout. Okay, so now save, and let's take a look here. As you can see, the title is changed, right? Pretty nice. Let's go back to layout here. So now we need to import the header component inside this layout here. So let's say header. We don't get the auto import, so let's import up here. So let's say import, header from, let's say dot slash sections slash header. Okay, and also we need to import the footer in here. So let's say footer, and also section dash footer. Okay, so we need to render the footer down here. So let's say footer like that. So in this div here, I'm going to add the class name set equals to, and in here I'm going to set the minimal height into screen, which is 100 view height, I think, and also the display, let's say flex, and also the flex is going to be column. Okay, so now if I save this and let's take a look, as you can see we have header, app, and footer. Okay, so now in this main here I'm going to add the class name set equals to, I'm going to say flex grow. So now if I save and let's take a look in the browser, as you can see now the footer is down here. Okay, let me showing you here. I'm going to give a background, for example red 4000 and 400, and as you can see the app is going to be start from here and until here. Okay, it's pretty cool. All right, so now let's remove this background here, and also we can add meta tag in this head here. Let's say meta, and I'm going to give a name set equals to, let's say description, and for the content, let's say content that equals to, let's say create dark mode in Next and Tailwind. Okay, so now if I save and if I click this extension here, I have extension called quick source viewer, and as you can see here we have this meta description and the content create a dark mode in Next and Tailwind. All right, so now let's go back, and what we need to do next is I'm going to styling the header first. So let's just close everything here and go to section and go to header. Okay, so first I'm going to remove this div here, and I'm going to use header tag. So inside this header I have a UL, and inside this UL here I have a link. Okay, link come from the next slash link, and inside this link here I have anchor tag like that. We don't have the ref in here, and let's say home, for example. Let's say home, and I have two links, basically home and about. All right, so let's add ref in here. Let's say ref set equals to, this is gonna be /, and for the about is going to be let's say /about. Okay, so now save and let's take a look. As you can see, we have home and about. Cool. So let's styling this a little bit. I'm going to add class name that equals to the height. I'm gonna say 16, and it's gonna be display flags, and also the items I'm gonna say center, and also the justify content to space between. All right, and in this UL here, I'm going to give a class name set equals to flex, and also gap I'm gonna give a 4, and also in here I have the icon. For now, to say button, and let's say icon. All right, so now save and let's see what we have. Let's say background red, for example. It's not working. I think let's go back to the Tailwind config here, and yeah, we need to add the section in here. So let's copy and paste that, and let's say sections. All right, so now save and let's take a look. Here we go. Cool. So now I need to give a style in the body. All right, so there's a couple things that you can do, but now I'm going to go to the global CSS, and in here I want to say add layer, let's say base, and in here I'm going to grab the body, let's say body, and inside this body I'm going to give a style. So we can say apply, and in here you can do any class Tailwind you want. For example, I'm going to say background, let's say red, for example, 100. If I save, it's going to be affect to the body. All right, pretty nice. All right, we don't need this background, of course. What we need to do is I'm going to say maximal width into 2XL, and also the MX I'm going to say auto, and also the padding horizontally I'm going to say 4. So now save and let's take a look in the browser. As you can see, pretty nice. And also we need to go back to header here. Let's remove the background here. We don't need this. Here we go. So now save and bam, cool. But now I'm going to create a variable, let's say navigation here. Let's say const navigation, set that equals to array. Okay, and this array have an object inside in here, and let's say label, and I'm gonna say home, let's say home, and path. Okay, the path is gonna be /, and also this is the about, let's say about, and also the path is gonna be about. Okay, so now we can map through this navigation inside in here. Let's just copy this, and I'm going to map through the navigations.map. I grab the individual nav, and in here I'm going to return link. Okay, and the ref is going to be the nav.path. All right, so let's say nav.path, and also the label, let's say nav.label. Okay, so let's save. We should see the same exactly thing. Okay, nothing happened in the browser. Cool. So in here we can add the class name now, I think in the app, in the anchor tag here. So now let's say class name set equals to the font. I'm gonna change that to semi bold, and also the text I'm gonna say gray 400, and also the hover. When I hover the text, I need to, the color is gonna be changed to gray, let's say 500. Okay, so now save and let's take a look. As you can see here, if I hover, the text is gonna be changed, the color, right? Pretty nice. Let's go back. So now let's working with the hero component here. I'm gonna remove this div, and I'm gonna use section tag, and inside this section tag I have h1. Let's say hi, I am Chan, and also down here I have h3, and let's say I am web designer, and also I'm gonna give a paragraph tag, and let's say lorem 20. All right, so now save and let's take a look. Let's refresh this, and nothing happened. That's because you don't yet render this hero in the index here. So let's do hero like that. So now we should see these tags here. Okay, so now let's styling this a little bit. So let's go back here, and in section here I'm going to add class name set equals to margin top. I'm going to set that to 16, and also in this h1 here I'm going to say class name set equals to, the text is going to be, let's say, 7XL, and also the font I'm going to say bold. And also in this history here I'm going to add the class name set equals to, the text is going to be 4XL, and also margin vertically I'm going to set that to 3. And also for this paragraph here, let's add the class name set equals to the text, let's say I'm going to say gray 700, and also the margin bottom, let's say 8. Okay, because down here we need to add the button, and let's say hire me like that. So now save and let's take a look. Here we go. But I think this history here is not working, the font size. So let's go back here. Yeah, this one here is going to be text for XL. So now save and let's take a look. Here we go. Nice. So next I'm going to create button component, so we can use the button component in this hero and in this header. Now let's go back to components here, and I'm going to create a file called button. Alright, so let's say button.js file, and in here I'm going to say rfce and remove the React up here. Alright, instead of div I'm going to use button tag. So this button tag children, so let's say children, this children is going to come from the props. So let's say children. And also we have another props called, let's say, class name, and also on click. All right, let's say on click. So this button have on click event, so let's say on click set equals to on click, come from the props, and also have a class name. So let's say class name set equals to, I'm going to use backtick. So let's say padding 2, and also the rounded, I'm going to set that to medium. And also if I hover the button, I need to have ring, let's say 2, and also the ring is gonna be, let's say, gray 300. All right, and also I'm going to paste the class name come from the props in here. Okay, so now if I save and let's go back to hero here, and I'm gonna remove this button, and let's render the button component, and I'm gonna say hire me like that. So now if I save and let's take a look, here we go, we have this button here. If I hover, as you can see, we have the ring here. Okay, and also I need to change the background, so let's go to hero, and in here I'm going to add the class name. So let's say class name set equals to the background, I'm gonna set that to gray, not gray but purple, let's say purple 600, and also the text I'm gonna set that to white, and also the padding horizontally I'm gonna set that to 6. Okay, so now if I save and let's go back, as you can see, really nice if I hover. So the next thing is let's styling this footer here. I'm going to go to section and footer.js file, and I'm going to remove this div, and I'm going to use footer. Okay, so inside this footer I have span tag. Inside the span tag I have let's say Chan, and also after this span I have the copyright symbol, so let's say and copy like that. And also in here I'm going to render the year, so let's say new date, and I'm going to grab the full get full year. Yeah, and also in here I'm going to say all right reverse. All right, so now save and let's take a look. Here we go. So now let's style this a little bit. So let's go to footer here, and I'm going to add the class name set equals to the padding vertically. I'm going to set it to 6, and also the text is going to be center, and also the color, let's say text gray, I'm going to give a 500, and also the font, let's say small. And also inside this span here I'm going to add the class name set equals to the text is gonna be gray 900, and also the font, let's say bold, and also the text is gonna be large, and also the margin right, I'm gonna set that to 2. All right, so now save and let's take a look. Here we go, but it's not center. Text center, yeah, this one here, text center. All right, cool. So now let's working with the toggle button. So let's go back to header.js, and in here I'm going to create a function. So let's say const render, I'm gonna give a name theme changer. Okay, so that equals to arrow function here, and in here I'm going to return the button tag. So let's say not button tag but button component, and inside this button here I'm going to grab the SVG, which is the icon. So let's search for moon, and I'm going to grab this solid here. I'm going to copy the JSX and paste that in here like that. All right, so now we need to run this render theme changer down here. Okay, let's remove this button and let's do that down here. So now if I save and let's go back here, and as you can see we have this moon here, really cool. And also I need to add the background color in this button. So let's go back to header, and in this button here I'm going to add the class name set equals to, I'm going to set that the background to gray 200. Okay, so if I save, and as you can see, this is what I want. Look really clean, look pretty nice. So next let's working with the dark mode. So let's go to the next theme package, and in here we need to run this command here. Okay, so we need to install the next theme package. Let's go to terminal here. I'm going to stop the server for now and run this yarn add next theme. Okay, it's gonna be download the package. All right, so it's done. So now let's run the server again. Let's say yarn dev, and I close the terminal. And now what we need to do is go to app_app.js, and in here we need to wrap our app here with theme provider. Let's say theme provider come from the next theme here. All right, just make sure you put the layout up here like that. So now save and let's take a look in the browser, and as you can see guys, it's working. So now we have a dark mode, really cool. And if I change the system to light mode, and as you can see it's changed to the light mode, dark and light, really cool. It's automatically work. And if I go to global CSS here, and if I add, for example, let's say apply, if the theme is dark, I need to change the background to, for example, red 500, and also for the text I need to change that to, let's say, blue, text blue 800. Okay, so now if I save this and let's take a look, if I change the system theme into dark mode, as you can see now the background is red and the text is blue. But why this paragraph here is still black? That is because in the hero here we set this paragraph here with text gray. That's why this is not working in this paragraph here. All right, but of course we need to set the dark value in the paragraph. So let's go to hero here, and I'm gonna say if the theme is dark, I need to change the text into, for example, white. Okay, if I save this, the text here is gonna be white. Okay, that's how the dark theme work. So now we need to make it's gonna be back, and it's not red of course, but I need to change the color to black. So let's say background black, and also the text I'm gonna set that to, let's say, gray 100. And also if the dark is not true, meaning we on the light mode, we need to set the background to gray 5T, and also the text, let's say, gray 900. All right, so now if I save this, and as you can see, this is what we have. Okay, really nice. But I need to, when I on the dark mode, I need to change this Chan color here with this purple. Okay, so let's go to hero. Where is my hero? This one here. And I need to wrap my Chan here with span tag. So let's say span, and I'm going to put the channel right here. And also in here, I'm going to add the class name set equals to, I'm going to say if dark, I'm going to change the text into purple, let's say 600. Okay, so now if I save, and as you can see, really cool. And also this down here as well, I'm going to go to the footer, and I'm going to say in this pen here, I'm going to add if dark. I'm going to change the text into, let's say, gray 100. Okay, if I save, and here we go. If I change the system theme into light, here we go, we have black here. And if I change that to dark mode, we have this one. Okay, really nice. But now this is not working, this button here. Okay, so let's make it work. So let's go to the header, I think. Yeah, this header here. So what we need to do in here is we need to import the use theme. So let's say import use theme function come from the next theme. So inside this header, I'm going to create variable. So let's set that equals to use theme here. Okay, and we need to grab the, let's say system theme. All right, system theme, and also the set theme. All right, so inside this function render a theme changer, we need to create variable called, let's say, current theme. Okay, it's gonna be equals to, I'm gonna check here if the theme is equals to system. Okay, we need to use the system theme, or else I'm going to use the theme variable. Okay, if the user for the first time go to this website here, is going to be use this system theme. Okay, but after user click this button here, it's going to be using this theme value. Okay, so now down here, I'm going to check if the current theme is equals to, let's say, dark. We need to return this button here. Okay, so now let's just copy this and put that in here, but we need to use the sun icon in here. So let's search for sun, and I'm going to copy this JSX and go back here and paste that in here. All right, there we go. So now we need to handle the else, meaning if the current time is a light now, we need to put this return like that. Okay, so now let's save and let's take a look in the browser. As you can see, we have this moon here. If I change the theme into, as you can see here, into the dark, it's gonna be using this icon here, which is sun. Okay, but we cannot see the icon because we need to change the background. So let's go to header here, and in here I'm going to, let's say, if the dark mode is true, I need to change the background to, let's say, gray 600. Okay, so if I save and let's take a look, here we go. Nice. So now we need to add the on-click event in this button. So let's go back here, and in this button here, I'm going to add on-click event. So let's say here, I'm going to say on-click set equals to, I'm going to create a function, and I'm going to set the theme into light. Let's say light here. Okay, and also down here we need to add another on click as well. So let's say on click set equals to, it's gonna be set the theme into dark. All right, so now if I save this and let's go back, and if I click, it's not working in this body here. Why? That's because we need to add the, let's say, dark mode here into class. All right, so now if I save, and as you can see, it's still not working. I think the problem is on the app.js here, the underscore app.js. We need to add attribute here. So let's say attribute set equals to class. Okay, So now if I save and let's change this, it's still not working. Let's refresh. Here we go. It's worked now. Really cool. Really nice. But we have a little problem here. If I go to a dark mode, and as you can see in this icon here, if I refresh, now the icon is back to the moon. Okay, we don't want that. So to fix that problem, we need to go back to header here, and in here I'm going to create state first. So I'm going to give a name mount. Let's say mount, and set mount, set that equals to use state. By default it's gonna be a false. All right, and of course we need to import the use state, come from React. Let's say from React, and also we need to import the use effect as well. So let's say use effect. Okay, so here I'm going to set the use effect. Okay, and also inside this use effect, for the first time this page load, I need to set the mount into true. Okay, so inside this function here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say if mount is false, I need to return, let's say return null. And that's it. So now if I save this and let's go back, if I on the dark mode and if I refresh, as you can see, it still have a sun icon. Okay, really cool. So what next? Next is maybe this about page. We don't have this page, so let's go to page and create about. So let's say about.js file. So let's say rrfce, and this is gonna be about. Okay, if I save and let's go back here, we have this about. Okay, so let's styling this a little bit. I'm going to add the class name, the text, let's set that to center, and also the text I'm gonna set the gray, let's say 600, and also the font I'm gonna set that to semi bold, and also the margin top I'm gonna set that to 20, and also the text, let's say to XL. Okay, so now if I save, and here we go, you can also change the dark mode and light mode in this page here. Okay, really cool. So now let's go to random road here. I'm going to say random here, and as you can see, this is gonna be the 404 page. We need to custom the 404 page. So let's go to page here, and I'm going to create file called 404.js file. And in here, I'm going to come from about, and I'm gonna paste that in here. And also the about is going to be, let's say, not font. Okay, so if I save and let's refresh, as you can see, we have not font. And also I need to change this to, let's say, oops, page not found. All right, and let's give it this emoji here and save, and here we go. Cool. You can also change the toggle theme here. It's work really cool. Okay, everything is work really nice. Yeah, I think we're done guys with this simple project. I hope you can implement the dark mode in your portfolio or on your next project. So hope this helpful, and see you in the next video.